Do you have any hack, like when it happens and you're in the down and you're comparing yourself? Is there is it what how do you hack yourself to get yourself out of it?
I don't know. Do I have one? I think it's usually ironically, it's usually other people who can help me get out of that cycle. Like it's usually just friends, loved ones, my partner, like who I will sort of see what I'm doing and say, "Hey, stop that." And will like pull me out of that habit. But yeah, is there some sort of
When was the last time it happened? I'm trying to.
I don't know, like 5 minutes ago.
Ah,
Like it
okay.
happens all the time. I
Ah.
think it's this like I think because I feel like I always need to be moving forward, and when that's your focus, you will naturally see other people who seem to be moving faster, or other people who seem to be way further ahead, or other people like and because there's no playbook for a creative career, like there's no like year one you do this and after 2 years you get this promotion and you should be on this track to do this by this point, like, and I know that those kind of career tracks don't exist that much anymore kind of anywhere, but they really don't exist for a creative career. So sometimes it feels like that's all you have. It's like, well, this person's my age and they have this, and like this person went to the same school as me and they're doing this,
Yeah.
and this person, like, sometimes it feels like that's the only metric you actually have.
Right,
And
right.
so it's really natural to fall into, and it's not, it's, I don't think anyone's setting out to like be a competitive little bitch about things. Like, but we're all just kind of trying to figure out if we're doing the right thing and if we're moving at the right pace and if we're um and so I think it's so easy to fall into that really unproductive behavior.
Yeah.
It's a bad habit.
You were saying, am I moving forward in the right pace? Right. For some
Yeah.
reason, the first thing that comes to my mind is we're working on Benny and Beta for
Right.
how long?
6 years now. I mean, like
we-
really working.
We're
on it.
really working is about 6 years.
Yeah.
I feel like, when I tell this to when my mom or anyone from my family would be like, you're working on this thing 6 years and it's still not on Broadway getting any Tonys. Like, where is this going? And it's, first of all, I guess it's taking time to realize that these type of projects are very much slow processes that a lot of people outside don't know.
Right.
How long this takes. And I feel like when you were just saying this, and I'm thinking to myself, why I'm realizing now that it's taking time, and it's okay that it's taking time. And on the way there, early on in the process, I'll be like, 2 years into the process, I'll be like, why is this
Right.
not, moving fast? And now we're 6 years into it, and although I want faster results, I'm like so chill and comfortable
Sure,
with
yeah.
like, oh, it's taking time, and I understand that just these big, complicated, complex projects, they do take time.
Yeah.
Maybe if we're already talking about this, you can take us a little bit into the Benny and Beta world. I don't know how you want
Yeah.
to start this, and I feel like maybe if you can touch, let me ask you before, is this the longest? Is this like the project that you're working on the longest so far? I know for me, I've never been at something for that long and still have the same amount of enthusiasm. There's
Yeah.
days like this, days like that, but generally speaking, like the belief in the project, like really knowing, seeing the vision of it happening, like for that long, and to have a lot of like mini failures on the way, but still
Right.
not dropping it. I know that for me, as someone who used to or want to have instant successes, all the time. Or I guess a lot of us in this world, or younger generations, we're used to like instant, give it to us now, like it's all happening now. And so I feel like it's really easy for us to, if it's not happening in the first year or two or three, and other people in your school are already like starring on Broadway and having their show, you're like, fuck, where am I? Is this ever going to happen to me? So there are so many opportunities to lose faith. There are so many opportunities to drop the ball. I know for myself, and I think a lot of it is really thanks to the talent that both you and Amir have, that make it what I see with so much potential, is really, and our mentors that we're getting amazing example from, and we understand that those things take time, and they're not it's like they're not bothered by it. It's just the way they see them reacting to it. It's like, yeah, this takes time. Okay, it's another year, another this, another that. I'm seeing, Steven Schwartz not being all worked up that we are taking our time. It's like, it seems normal. So I know for me, this is the longest project that I've been able to still juggle and work towards with the same faith and belief in it.
Yeah, I think so for me too, especially, or at least it's the longest like collaborative project. I have things that like I'll have on the back burner for years and whatever. And so it has been this long road, and Benny's sort of like the process of developing Benny and Beta has been a little bit of an unusual one, just because of the way certain, I mean, the first time you, me, and Amir were on a Zoom to really talk about, I don't even think it was a Zoom yet, because they hadn't taken over the world yet. We were on a FaceTime to really talk about this project. Was like, I was like losing the feeling in my face and my hands, and then like 2 days later I was hospitalized with Guillain-Barré and got paralyzed. So like it just, everything has kind of started. It started in that place of like, what? And then there have been crazy setbacks, including a global pandemic along the way, that just have made it take longer. But that is combined with the fact that like my agent said at one point when I was talking about, I think it was this, but some project, and they say this at the BMI workshop all the time, is like, make sure you really like the idea, because you're going to be working on that thing for years and years and years.
Wait, so maybe it's a good timing that you'll tell us about the idea of Benny and Beta, whatever that you think is worth sharing to give context, and then about how the collaboration with Amir started, and from that point on.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I want the struggles and the many chances that things would like, get fucked, but then we picked it up.
So the elevator pitch I usually give for Benny is that it's a modern day Pinocchio, where Pinocchio is a robot and Geppetto is a tech genius woman with dementia. And it's all about the memories that make us who we are and the connections that forge us together. So that's that's kind of what Benny and Beta is.
I love this pitch.
And I think once you say modern day Pinocchio, but it's a robot, people are like, okay, yeah, cool, I get it.
Yeah.
But it really has had this evolution. That's kind of how it was pitched to me initially, and it was almost like a theater for young audiences, like much kind of simpler, younger story. When Amir had written like just a plot synopsis and sent it to you, and then you sent it to me, and then we had those initial conversations, and we both kind of latched on to this creator figure, and she became much larger in the story, and then her daughter also became much larger in the story. And so that's been this evolution from what could have been a really simple concept, but I think even in its simplest form, people get it. They're like, oh yeah, totally. What does it mean to be human? And like, he's a robot who wants to be a real boy. And I think at its essence, it is still that, and has this sort of rich discussion about memory all around it. But yeah, I think like the story of workshopping Benny and Beta started with that idea. It's also the thing I've stuck with the longest. I think it's one of the only projects that I've really stuck with where the initial idea wasn't mine. Where because usually, like, as the playwright or the book writer or the, you know, whatever it is, you kind of start the thing kind of starts with you. So this was one that like you brought to me, and I really liked it, and I brought some new perspective and ideas to the process, and Amir was into those ideas, so we decided to work on it. Yeah, we started these initial conversations, and then I got super sick. And
Yeah, like literally after our first conversation.
After our first conversation, it was wild.
What was this? How sick that was? Because I feel like this is very dramatic for our.
It was very bad. It was life threatening, and it was this like rare autoimmune disorder called Guillain-Barré Syndrome, where like my body attacked my peripheral nervous system. So just over a few days, everything was shutting down, and I didn't really know what was going on until I like couldn't move my face or breathe very well. And then I was in the emergency room, and pretty quickly I was on a ventilator in the ICU, and it was bad. So I'm okay now.
How long were you in the hospital for this?
For like a week, and then I was in bed for like close to 2 months. Like I couldn't really walk. And like I had to like everything. Like I had to learn how to swallow. I had to learn how to like I like just had to relearn how to do everything because like everything had shut down.
I remember.
Yeah, that was wild, and that was like our first of many setbacks.
I remember Amir and I was like, "What did we do to him? We just had this. We just had this talk, and now like the person is almost gone."
Yeah. You know, musical theater, it'll kill you.